Well, all right. Four, three, two, one.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Darlene McCormick, and on behalf of the pastors and the Board of Trustees, we welcome you to Colby Memorial Temple for our Sunday service. To begin our service, Miss Donna will light 3 lights symbolizing the unity of body, mind, and spirit. Body, mind, and spirit. Thank you, Donna. And our pastor will lead us in our invocation.
Good morning. Thank you all for coming. It's a beautiful day. So if you would rise for our invocation and then remain standing for our first hymn. In the spirit of reverence, let us just bow our heads, take a moment to come into our heart center, the spiritual heart, where we receive the presence of infinite intelligence, of love and light. And we invite that presence to be with us during this service. We invite the blessings and we welcome the masters, the teachers, our loved ones in spirit to guide us into our hearts more deeply so that we have a sense of peace, love, light, and fullness. And with this we say amen.
Amen.
And now Jamie Osmond, our vocalist, will sing our first hymn.
If you can turn to page 181, why we're happy.
We will tell you so why we're happy all day long. In our work and in our play, this is what we think each day. Thinking thoughts of kindness, thinking thoughts of love. Thinking thoughts of kindness, thinking thoughts of love.
Nice, short and sweet. Thank you. You may be seated.
I like that song. Have a seat and we'll continue on. Things should rhyme. Okay, located in our handout are our Declaration of Principles. Please join with me in reciting these principles together. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule. Whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual and that he makes his own happiness or unhappiness as he obeys or disobeys nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. The healing prayer is located in the back of your hymnal, and please recite me. Prayer for spiritual healing. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God. Now, for those of you who wish to receive spiritual healing, please take a seat along either wall and go to the next available healer. And while the healers work, the rest of us will join into a guided meditation. Let us heal. At this time, please settle into a comfortable position with your hands in your lap, palms up or down as you would like. Feet resting flat on the floor. Close your eyes. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing all tension in your face, neck, and shoulders. And as you again breathe in and breathe out, a relaxed warmth flows ever downward through your throat, heart, stomach, flowing naturally like water through your legs and feet, and you join with that flow. Your mind releases all thought, allowing you to access your inner self so you may see all the wonder that is you, your true self, And your thoughts take on a red sheen as they pass through, and a beauty that is the color of ruby red. Listen. Listen and hear. I am safe. All my needs are being met. I am here in my body. And my mind. And with my true self. True self. Drifting on your thoughts. Breathe in red. Breathe out orange. See orange, breathe orange, and hear again. Hear your true self. My feelings are the language of my soul. I express them in a healthy way. And I use my creativity for higher purpose. Breathe in orange. Oh, and breathe out yellow. See yellow, sunny, bright, warming your soul with the power that is you. And listen. Just by being me, I am valuable. I am open to spirit. I connect to greater life. I choose. I choose love, light, and healing. Breathe in sunny yellow and breathe out green, emerald green, and listen. Peace is the way of my life. I love myself and others, and I forgive myself. I forgive myself in a grateful, caring manner. The green of the thoughts surround you, and they part, and you drift up into blueness. Now, here, I speak my truth lovingly. I open myself to spirit with great clarity. For I listen with the ear of my heart. My intuition serves me well. And as you hear these thoughts, you become more peaceful, tranquil, and serene, going deeper within where all the answers lie. And your thoughts turn a deep, deep indigo. And you float through them with grace. Listen. I see connections and the deeper truth. I dwell in the state of presence, for I am a timeless, eternal being. My energy will continue on and on and on. For I open my eye to the light that is infinite. Now drifting upward through the rainbow of your thoughts to purple. Beautiful, pure purple that shines with the light that is spirit. That is you. I am grace. I am one with the divine. For I understand the deeper truth of suffering. I experience peace, love, and joy. joy, joy, for I simply am. Completely filled with the love and light that is spirit. Let your thoughts swell and sit quietly within for a few seconds. And feel your thoughts grow smaller, allowing you to drift further into the beauty and joy that is yours. That spirit intends for us to feel the joy of life. Rest in those thoughts and feel now as you come back and start drifting into yourself again. Feel those around you here in Colby Memorial Temple. Love is on your left, then love is on your right. And stretch and breathe and open your eyes when you are ready. Thank you. Excuse me. Okay. Now, if you have received a healing resulting in a correction or improvement, please complete the yellow card that is in the back of your hymnal. Looks like this. It's very helpful to us. And you can give it to the pastor at the back of the temple or mail the card in to us. And I would like to also thank our healers today. And they are from left to right: Marty Hadaway, Lori Carter, Jackie Arnold, the Reverend Judy Cooper, and not the least is our very Reverend Deborah Gamberg. Thank you. Okay, and Jamie is going to lead us in our next hymn, page 140, Peace Like a River. Please stand if you're able. We know this one. I know we know this one.
I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got peace like a river. Peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got love. God love, I got love, in my soul. I got love, I got love, in my soul. I got joy like the fountain, got joy. I got joy in my soul. Joy, got joy. Fountain, I got joy. The fountain in my soul. Thank you. You may be seated.
Wasn't that wonderful? Thank you, Jamie. All right. And now for our main event. I'd like to, and I have, it is my pleasure and honor to introduce our speaker today, Jeremy McDonald. He is an accomplished healer, teacher, Reiki master, EFT practitioner, quantum healer, life coach, and much more than that. He is also a very well-respected speaker with extensive experience spanning 25 years. That's good for us. Also, this is a little teaser. He did a workshop yesterday, and this afternoon in the announcements, I'll make an announcement about another. So please give a warm, warm welcome to Jeremy McDonald. Is it bothering you?
No, it's all fine. So can I move this up? Or do I need to? Okay. maybe sure.
Yeah,
Well,
you're taller than me.
6'5". Can everybody hear me? How about that? Good morning. How's everybody doing? That was my salesperson voice. So it worked. All right, good. Thank you so much. Well, thank you everybody, Casadega, for being here and coming and hanging out with me for the next however long I'm going to be speaking, 20 minutes or so. Today, my subject is on valuing ourselves. I'm sure we've all talked about that subject before in our life. Am I correct? So, but I want to go a little bit deeper into this because I want to start talking about our value and our connection to our soul and our guidance from our spirit guides and from spirit, and to be authentic with our contract of our soul. This is very interesting because there's a lot of people that go out there and we judge other people. I was even doing it over the weekend or over the summer. I was a part of a group called the Mentor Studio, and they talked a lot about value. They talked about what their idea of value is, charging $20,000 and $30,000 for a year of coaching with them. And so I started to judge them for charging that much. And then I realized that everybody has a different soul mission and a different soul contract, and they are there for different people. Does that make sense? So my client, one of my good friends and client, she charges about $350 an hour to have a time to spend with her. But most of her clients are from Hollywood, Beverly Hills, and Maui. So $350 is not a lot of money for them. Does that make sense? Because money is just what? Energy. So we make it a very powerful thing. So, but for me, it didn't feel, at least at this time, that was what I was guided to do. I was feeling very guided to connect with people and spend time with people, one-on-one with people, and really get to know people on a soulful level. And so, can anybody relate to this where they feel guided to do something and it feels like it's going against the grain of the people you're around, or it's different from the people you're around? Yeah, it does. Well, we're spiritualists, right? So, but the thing is that it doesn't make what other people are doing any less valuable to them, or it doesn't make what you're doing any less valuable to you. So what I'm going to say is, when we honor value ourselves, we're honoring our soul to follow our soul contract and our soul path. And so this is what I say in my manifestation. I start to say, I want the best of man's world, but I want it given by spirit. I want it given by the highest and best good. And because here's the thing, I could throw out there exactly what I want from my physical side. And I've done it many, many times and arrived and be like, well, that wasn't as cool as I thought it was going to be. Can anybody relate to that? Yeah. And so here's the thing, we can manifest with our physical mind. And I would say there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. However, if you want to have a really blissful, joyful time, manifest through the highest and best good of your soul. And what's really cool about that, because I've had a lot of arguments with my soul in meditation and said, well, yeah, but if we do this, then I can't do that. And I heard, don't you realize I know exactly what you want? Can anybody relate to that? Because spirit is always guiding us and telling us exactly, and they see it from a higher perspective. It's kind of like sitting, has anybody ever been on top of the Empire State Building and looked out? Well, let's put it this way. It is a very different perspective to see Central Park from the Empire State Building. It's a big sea of all these buildings and this huge, beautiful green park. Well, why is that important to talk about our spirit guides, our spirits? Because it gives you somewhat of a physical representation of what it's like to be a spirit looking at things from a higher perspective than what we can see here in the physical world. And no matter how gifted we are, we have to align with what spirit is guiding us to do in order to allow us to have that experience. So when we're valuing our own soul, when we're valuing ourselves, we're valuing our soul's purpose. And who's ever gone against their soul's purpose before? And then you're like, a couple years down the road and you're like, oof, well, I should have listened. Then you're like, you're starting to look at all the red flags that were going along over those couple of years. And you're like, why did I miss that? What is it? Hindsight is what? 2020. So, and what I would say to you is that a lot of people will beat themselves up and say, why did I miss all those red flags? And start beating themselves up. What I would say to you is that's your amazing opportunity to start looking at that and saying, I got some really cool lessons here to process through. Because guess what? Once you get it, and you won't go back to that area to make that mistake again. And it's not about, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm angry. It's like I learned the lesson and I can move with ease and grace through these types of experiences again. So to me, that's an amazing blessing, because we can have all kinds of lessons in our lives and never listen. I have friends that are in their 40s that we were hanging out with each other when we were 18, 19, in our 20s, and they're still doing the same things we were doing in our 20s. And I'm like, and then I look at them and I'm like, why do you look a lot older than I do? Because they're still drinking every weekend, every day, going out and doing the things. And you know what? If that's their life, that's their life. Can anybody relate to that? Where we kind of grow into new areas and the people we hung out with or were friends with, they're going in a different direction. Is there anything wrong with that? No. I would say go with God, go with Spirit, and go on with where you need to, because I'm going to follow my divine plan and my spiritual plan and my soul contract. And they're all basically the same thing. And the reason being is because I want to value the experience that my soul came down here to do, because we're spiritual beings having a what? A human experience. Thank you so much. And so it's very interesting, because these are things that all of us have gone through lessons on. But I'm here to give you permission to be the goofy one, to be the outcast, to be the one that steps out and says and honors their soul. I'm here to say to you, you have the permission. As a matter of fact, it is your duty to go out there and live life to the fullest based on your soul contract. It's not a request from me. It's your soul's duty. And your soul is begging you to go out there and fulfill your soul purpose. So somebody asked me yesterday on my workshop, well, how do you discover your soul purpose? And so there's a very easy way to put that. And the exercise is fairly easy, but the processing it might be a little bit of a challenge, but that's okay too. Basically, if you want to find your soul purpose and find your value, or where your soul wants you to go in direction, I want you to take a second. Everybody just close their eyes really quick. And I want you to imagine the one thing in the world that you would love to be doing. And I want you to eliminate the blocks of money, of time, of any other thing you can come up with the reason why you can't do it. But this is something that you've been wanting to do for a long, long time, but you just haven't done it. And you really feel it. And I'll give you an example while you guys are kind of focusing in on that. I asked myself, well, what if I didn't have any blocks of money? What would I do? And I love, obviously, inspiring people, and I love traveling, and I love sharing my love of travel. Well, obviously, the first excuse is, well, that costs money, right? And the other part is, that takes what? Time. Well, if it's something that I'm really going to enjoy doing, or what you're really going to enjoy doing, and it'll resonate with you in your soul, there's no excuse about time. You're probably, I can guarantee you, wasting time on other things that are preventing you from doing that. Can anybody relate to that? Okay. And so those are the things that are your attachments that are holding you back from the life that you want to have. Like we were talking about earlier, we were talking about people get on the ship and live on the ship and work on the ship because they really love that life of working on a ship and being on a cruise ship and traveling all over the world. But that comes with some sacrifices, right? Not being around your family and loved ones. But here's the thing, and this is what my soul told me. Do you think that if you traveled all the time and were out there doing what you love, that the people that love you would stop loving you? Do you think that each individual in here, for whatever it is that you feel that would make you happy, that the people around you would stop loving you because you were doing something that you enjoyed doing? Now, they may not understand it. They may even judge it at first. But I can guarantee you, in my life, I've gone against the grain more than once. And the people that naysayed me eventually came back and said, I don't know what you're doing, but I want to figure it out because you're obviously really happy doing it. And one of those was my best friend. He used to call me being a Reiki master, he used to call it ramen noodles. And because he was making a joke. And then he eventually came back to me and said, I was being disrespectful. I'm very, very sorry, because this is something that's very sacred and makes you happy. Can anybody relate to that? Has anybody ever had somebody come back and understand what you're going through? But they don't get that opportunity to come and understand if you don't step forward into your own soul purpose and value the soul and the journey that you're supposed to be on. And what ends up happening is that we try to codependently fit it in to and we try to fit into what other people think we need to be like. And I'm here to tell you, I'm not here to try to fit in anymore. Or is anybody in here trying to fit in? We're spiritualists anyways. And I remember back 25 years ago when I first pulled out a pendulum and everybody thought I was crazy. And when I told people I talked to people on the other side, people said, you should be Baker acted. And that was just 25 years ago. Can anybody relate to that? And the truth is that there's things that other people do that we'd want to judge too. But we're supposed to be here on our own mission, our own purpose. I was at a meeting the other day in Tampa. There is a new group that I was introduced to called the Interfaith Council of Tampa Bay. And I was so excited about this group because what the whole purpose is to bring people of different religions together and start creating the bridge amongst religions. So I went there representing spiritualists, and there was another spiritualist church there, and there was a Buddhist there was a Sufi master there was a Catholic church preacher there was a Baptist, a Methodist, and a Presbyterian, and then there was one group there that was a trigger for me, and I had to sit there and patiently practice what I preach and listen. And that was the Scientology preacher. And then she came up to you later on and wanted to have dinner with me. And I was like, boy, I'm gonna have it was a big button she was hitting for me, but she was very nice. So I gave her my card and I said, well, we'll see. Just give me a call. So, however, I probably will go. I'm not going to become a Scientologist, but the truth is that this is another soul sitting in front of me. I may not agree with what she believes, but I'm going to listen. Does that make sense? So in the end, I can set a boundary if she crosses over that boundary, and I can say, but that's another practice for our soul. Am I correct? To set boundaries. Now, I'm not saying going out and doing all this stuff, but this is my soul purpose. I told you at the very beginning that my soul has told me to connect with people and create community. And so if I would have went against that, would I have potentially been going against my soul? Maybe. It's just something to consider. Everybody with me on this? So because the whole purpose of this, of talking about valuing, and I want everybody to say this with me really quick. I'm going to say it once and then we'll say it again. There's a practice for you, and then we'll say it again after that together. I deserve the best of everything, but I want it divinely given. Everybody got that? Say it with me. But I want it to come up through your heart. I want you to really feel it. All right. 1, 2, 3. I deserve the best of everything, but I want it divinely given. Now I want you to feel it, just push out and feel the vibration frequency coming out of your heart and flowing back to you. It's like a figure 8, and it flows in and it flows out. Why? Because everything we put out there comes back what? Remember? Tenfold, right? So if we put out there value and understanding and passion and love for ourselves, and we feel that and that resonates, and we know we deserve the best of everything, but we want it divinely given at the highest and best good, then guess what? We are radiating that frequency out beyond us, and the world does respond. It does respond. The universe does respond, because you have to start believing that the universe is plotting to do you good. So even though there is all kinds of crazy stuff going on in the world and in the universe, and things that make us go, gotta get off social media, I gotta get off the news, I can't do that, there's still a lot of goodness in the world. And you can look at your own family. Who has grandchildren here? You can see your grandchildren. Does that bring you joy to see your grandchildren? Who has children? Does it bring you joy to see them successful? And I guess what? It brings them joy to see you happy too. And so what ends up happening is that if you can start seeing that, you can start seeing the joy in the world. I just saw this a video of this little girl, and she had little pigtails in, and she had this big smile. I mean, and she had food all over her face, but she did not care. She was not worried about what people think about her. She wasn't worried about if her hair was perfect. She wasn't worried about if her makeup was perfect. She was emanating what? Joy. Because she was authentic for who she was in that moment. So you deserve the best of everything, and you want to divinely give it in the highest and best good. And I've been saying that for about 7 years now. And one of the most powerful parts about how I do that, last part of that, I'll give you this before I end, is this. Everybody remember Christmas morning when you walked out and you were looking out, you're probably like 6, 7 years old or however old, and you want to turn in that corner to go and look at that Christmas tree and see all the presents. Did you have a lot of joy in you at that time? You were like, just can't wait to get out there. And you get out there, and then you realize that the cookies you put out there actually did get eaten. You didn't find out until later on that that was your mother, at least for me, that she ate them. But I really did think it was Santa Claus, and I was super excited. But I want you to have that energy of excitement that morning on Christmas. And if you didn't celebrate Christmas, then find something else. Find something else that brought you joy. The lady yesterday was talking about how concerts gave her joy because she went and saw a concert. It doesn't matter what it is. Find that energy and that frequency of joy. And guess what? If we all believe in past lives, you've been a doctor, you've been a nurse, you've been a millionaire, you've been an attorney, you've been everything, the spectrum of all the things that you look at and see in other people. And we get sometimes that little bit of envy because we think people have something we don't have. You've already been that. You've already been that. So bring that in with that frequency of Christmas morning and start seeing yourself and feeling it. Most importantly, feeling it where you want to be in alignment with your soul. And I can guarantee you, you'll have an incredibly amazing life. Everybody, thank you so much for having me, and much love. Namaste.
Yeah. Geo.
Oh, sorry.
No, we've got this. That's perfect. Thank you. And thank you, Jeremy McDonald. He certainly, joy, joy, joy. It speaks to me. For those of you that know me, you know that would. So, oh, okay. I lost my spot. I should have this memorized. How funny. Okay, we are going to have interlude, a brief musical interlude. And during that time, we will be passing the basket. And we thank you in advance for your generosity. And our interlude will be performed by our very own Jamie Osman.
Thank you. And I want to thank Jeremy for that. Because the song that I'm going to sing today is called Up to the Mountain, and it was written by Patty Griffin, and it was inspired by the Martin Luther King Jr. speech called Up to the Mountain. And I think sometimes when Spirit wants us to do something, we don't want to climb that mountain because it just seems so high. But we have to keep going. We have to keep doing it. And I think that we are rewarded every time that we do that. Might need to start it over. Sorry. I went up to the mountain because you asked me to. Up over the clouds where the sky was blue, I could see all around me, everywhere. I I can see all around me, everywhere. Sometimes I feel like I ain't never been nothing but tired. And I'll keep working till the day I expire. Yeah, sometimes I lay down. What more can I do? But then I go on again because you asked me to. Some days I look down, afraid I will fall. And though I see nothing, I see nothing at all. Then I hear your sweet voice. Oh, come and then go, and then go, telling me you love me so. That peaceful valley, just over the mountain. That peaceful valley, we will come to know. Yeah, I will someday get there. Just over the mountain. Because there I will go. Yes, someday I will get there. Someday I will go.
She's pretty good, isn't she? Thank you. Thank you, Jamie. Okay. Announcements. Okay, next Wednesday, January 25th already. We're rolling right through January. Our message bearer for our demonstration of spirit service will be me, Darlene McCormick. And next Sunday, the 29th, our guest speaker will be the Reverend Diane Davis. And also next Sunday, our Lyceum speaker will be the Reverend Dickie Joe Mullen. Every Sunday, we have adult Lyceum, also known as Sunday School, from 9:30 to 10:15 approximately here in the Colby Temple. Also, to participate in absentee healing, please print the name and first initial of the last name of a loved one, friend, or even a pet in our healing book at the left corner of Colby Temple. Camp flyers for camp events are at the back of the temple, and we have an activities calendar and a church bulletin. Show and tell. I'm throwing things around. I have it. Yes. What I do. You could take these home. There are extras. Take extras if you have a friend or family member that would be interested. Also, today, as I had mentioned, Jeremy McDonald Speak slowly and clearly. We'll have a workshop from 2 to 4 p.m. in the Andrew Jackson, and that is $40. And this workshop will help you have a stronger relationship with yourself and bring a deeper sense of meaning to your life. There's also a new member orientation. This is session number 2 today at 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. And that will be here in Colby Temple. The second of 3 new member classes to orient prospective members regarding the camp programs and services. And also today, it's a busy day, we like it. Becoming a Spiritualist by our Robin Mattatino. That is from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Andrew Jackson Davis building, and it is $10. And she covers what does it mean to be a spiritualist. Also, we have a annual thing that we do, renewal of vows. It's purple. And it is February 12th. And it will be during our regular Sunday service. The Reverends Philip DeLong and Reverend Ann DeLong, his wife, will officiate the annual SCMA renewal of vows, and certificates will be provided to those who wish to participate. You RSVP, and that is by February 8th. So you have your certificate. That, by the way, is a lovely service for those of you that have not been able to attend. Our Casadega website, and it's really easy to remember. Casadega, the part that tricks people, is .org. So casadega.org has all the monthly information as well as the upcoming events. It's a very fluid schedule, so always check before you come out for something. And next we will have Jamie lead our next hymn, 179. Oh, it's a fun one. This Little Light of Mine.
I chose a lot of fun ones today.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
If you could all stand, please.
Yes.
This little light, I'm going to shine. This little light, I'm shine. This little light, I'm going to shine. Everywhere I go, I'm going to shine. Everywhere shine. Hey, let it shine. Everywhere I'm going to shine. Shine, shine, shine. Building up, I'm going to shine. Building up, I'm going to shine. Building up, shine, shine, shine. Who are we if we can't laugh when it messes up?
You just know sometimes spirit participates in these delivery of the hymns. All righty. Oh, the message portion of our service. That's me. Oh, we'll have fun. Ma'am, may I come to you? What is your first name? Betty? Okay, Betty. You know, stepping into your energy, you brought an awful lot of people with you today. And one of them, and I'm not going to argue with her because one of them is a woman, and oh, she can be a talker. High energy. Says she was a pretty good cook, but she didn't particularly always like to do it, which I find amusing because I don't cook. At any rate, stepping in with pure love. I mean, there's a gentleman, there's a younger young man, Jamie, you really, you kind of loaded up. You are safe and valuable just the way you are. And you have done a lot of your inner work to find that joy. And it had been, you went through those years where the universe was slapping you around and everything was going awry. The maternal energy, the mother figure, it doesn't hurt to ask for help now and again, independent woman. You just plug along, doing Betty and doing Betty and doing Betty. Anybody that you can help, you help. Anybody that needs advice, you give it and they don't listen. All of those things you do. Any decisions that you've ever made were always based on the information that you had at that time. So go easy on Betty, please, is what she's saying. I feel like there's an energy, should I go or should I stay? You feel like you have to make some decisions, things that are just coming up. Divine timing, Betty. It's not going to be on Betty time. and impatient as you are, embrace that. When it comes time to make any of these decisions, sometimes a decision in divine timing, no decision is a good decision. Oftentimes, sometimes the decisions will need made. Trust yourself, trust your inner voice, and go more with the flow. Those swimming up river days that you did for so many years, how'd that work out? That was painful, okay? And you're actually going with the flow. Communication wise, say what's on your mind. It pops into your head and sometimes you rein it back in and she says, that didn't used to be like you. So of course with her, if something needed to be said, it was being said. And not so always very kindly. You always get away with saying what needs to be said and you don't hurt feelings. So just keep in mind, this is your time. It's Betty time. And it's a very good thing. And we're very glad that you're here. Thank you. Thank you very much, Betty. Okay. And to the right we have. May I come to the woman on the end and yes, you're just so put together. What is your first name? Tony. A man is stepping forward. There's another woman. I mean, the women sometimes can be so vocal. But we're going to just let the gentleman comes through with such great love. It's a paternal type love, but yet I feel like this could have been a significant other, someone that mattered to you. And he says, you are just a hot ticket all the way around. And he just wants to point out, if everybody would like to take a look, Tony, don't shoot me for this. Isn't she lovely? Spending the time that you do to make things lovely in this world has provided so much value for those around you. You set your intentions and truly for the highest and best. You have a very strong ethical and moral core. Back in the day when you were swimming up river along with Betty, you had more of, you should do this and you could do this and would you do, but it wasn't in that strident, demanding voice that the lady who also wants to speak would do that, would serve that up. It was always with a kindness and a suggestion, and then you would get pointed when nobody listened. and that was okay. He's just saying quite simply that you are a hot ticket, and that to remember all of that and to value yourself. He's also saying, keep your purse strings a little close. There's some people who would like to dip into your funds, and they may not use it for the highest and best as you would. Sometimes a mother will reach out and your weakest child is that type of thing. So just be cognizant. You have grown adults around you And this is the woman. They're grown. They have to do it on their own. Don't help. You're helping them. You're helping them. And I hope that resonates with you. And I'll just leave that with light and love. May I come to the woman in the back row with the gray sweater? And yeah, yes, that's you. Don't you have a joyous spirit? We've been praising joy today. Well, that's spirit. And that's you inside. Stepping into your energy. I actually have a younger man is stepping forward. Oh, he says I was pretty good looking. Not bad. Passed back in the day. This is somebody that has been gone for a while, and I think you should be aware. However, it was a reckless behavior type accident. It was a sudden death, and really he's just here. I kind of think of him as a drive-by, someone from your past that just wants to say thank you, because back in the day, he was a loner. He was very much all by himself. And sometimes people would make fun of him. And you, what's your first name? Andrea. You can be the anti-bully. And when people were picking on people around you in your school age years, when some of that is very prevalent, you were always the let him alone, let him alone. And he just wants to say thank you for that. However, more importantly, he wants to say you are not alone, and sometimes you feel alone, and to push those feelings and remember who Andrea is, the champion of all people unassembled. And that sometimes unassembled people, or they just love you because you're thinking you're going to help them and you're going to put them back together. Take time for you, and you are on the path, and we're so glad that you were here today. And this fella says you're just not alone. Reach out when you reach out. And this past year was a sorting year. It was a very crazy kind of a year. You were what's working for Andrea, what's not working for Andrea, and you were kicking some things to the curb. You still have a few things that are just hanging on, and setting boundaries can help you and serve you well. And I'll just leave that with love and light. And thank you everybody for being here. Ta-da. Now, Darlene, the speaker, is back. Chairperson. We would like to remind everyone that we will have our afternoon message service. That'll be here at Colby, and it will go from 12 to 12:30. A group of mediums and student mediums will be given spirit greetings to as many individuals as they can reach during that half hour. Everyone is welcome. We encourage you to visit our bookstore today, which is open at 11:30 to 5 p.m. today, and Monday through Friday from 10 to 6 p.m. Saturday, excuse me, Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6 p.m. And please rise for our closing hymn, Let There Be Peace on Earth, and remain standing for the benediction.
Page number, in case you don't know.
Oh, page number 20, pardon me?
203.
203, page number. Let there be peace on earth with me. Let there be peace on earth. Peace to be with God. Let us love each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Speak up and now. With every step I take, let
sweet my soul back to take each breath, each breath. Let peace on earth.
Thank you. Thank you. Mother, Father, God, Infinite Spirit, as we step out into this day, let us take the peace, love, and joy with us. And remember, Spirit around us and Spirit who is in us. And enjoy this blessed day. Amen. Thank you for coming. Let there be peace on earth